Hello everybody, Haku here with the first part of the Chapter 4 read-through for Mahou shoujo Ikusei Keikaku, a magical girl raising project, JOKERS. So, first part of Chapter 4. This one's actually going to be kind of short. I'm running really behind on not just videos, but tons of stuff in life this week. So, I didn't want to take the week off, even though I thought about it. Like, I really didn't want to. I want to start reading Chapter 4. So I'm only going to read the first 12 pages here, and then there's a scene break. So I'm going to do the first 12 pages here, and then next week, hopefully it'll be normal length. I don't know if I'll go for a kind of long one and just finish the whole chapter, though that would probably be an over hour long video, so I might not be able to do that one. Or if I'll just do 2 parts next week or something so I can finish out the chapter in one more week. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. All I know is that I don't really have a ton of time this week and I still want to get this up, so it's going to have to be kind of shorter. Also, I recorded a bunch of stuff before this, so my voice is kind of shot as is. But either way, I'm excited. We're 3 chapters in. We've been introduced to all the characters. Some of them have gone missing. I've given my 2 theories, one being that Pithy is pulling them out via her, like, I always called it a snow globe. Her crystal ball. Either Pithy is screwing with things, because it's something Pithy would do, or it has something to do with the 4-dimensional bag of Grimheart. Those are my guesses. So I'm excited to see the way things actually go. So let's start reading Chapter 4 and see what happens with these characters. We have Chapter 4, I'm the Villain, starting with Prism Cherry. Should she tell them? She was confused to this very end. The things that the pure elements do, and the things the magical girls that Prism Cherry knew about did. They were 2 completely different things. She's never heard of disruptors before, and she's never been born in a magical girl lab. She's never used a jewel to transform, nor she ever needed to take regular medicine. She's engaged in activities that were like community service, never fighting threats to the world or even the country. She was sure that the invader magical girls were similar to her, people who were chosen to be proper magical girls by the Land of Magic's selection tests. They were uneven, all over the place. Their costumes had no sense of unity, similar to Prism Cherry. It was their way of life, just different from the pure elements. She should have told them. She should have said, you and me were completely different kinds of magical girls. No matter what kind of information it was, it's always better to know rather than to not know. When they need to fight back, not knowing information like that could make them lose, and she couldn't take that back. She knew this, yet she didn't tell them. They're not the same kind of magical girls. Saying that was scary. Even though they fought disruptors together and posed together, they were never part of the same group. They're always so kind and gentle, but she never thought that she herself would be the cause of their demise. Even if she wasn't excluded from that, she was sure that they'd be disappointed in her. Prism Cherry was the same as the invaders, the same as those who kidnapped Tempest. Just thinking about it made her head hurt. They'll definitely dislike her if they think that. At the beginning, she just wanted to get to know them. She wasn't special, so she wanted to know someone special. That way she can feel like she's special, which made her happy. Now it was different. She didn't want to be hated because she was special, because of Deluge, Quake, Tempest, Inferno. She didn't want to be hated by them. It was fun talking with Deluge in school about their magical girl activities. She hasn't even talked about late night anime with Quake. She wanted Tempest to talk about her crushes and first loves. She hasn't even had that rematch with Inferno on the game they played. She didn't want to be hated. She didn't want to make them disappointed. Even if she told them she at least wanted Tempest to be back, she'll do the best she can for getting Tempest back. Then they'll know that Prism Cherry was still their ally. She was completely selfish. Prism Cherry herself knew this. That's why she kept worrying to the very end, thinking about what to do while crying, but before she could come to a conclusion, the enemy had come. Okay, see, it would be easy to complain that this could be solved more easily, or Prism Cherry should just tell them, but I like that it's more nuanced than that. I like that Prism Cherry has serious reasons why she doesn't want to, even though it's the right thing to do. There was no time to talk. If there was no time, then she had to make time. If she repelled the enemy, she'd have time to talk with them. With Luxury Mode, the pure elements won't lose. However, Prism Cherry will still do her utmost to support them. No matter how strong their enemies were, even if they were students of the Mahou school, there was no reason for the pure elements to be defeated. The magical girl in the monitor carefully proceeded toward the second training room. Deluge's team was in the first training room. Right, they'll meet each other soon. With tension rising, she heard the sound of the bulkhead doors opening. Did they come back? Why? She hasn't looked away from the monitors, but the bulkhead behind her opened up. Deluge's team was still continuing to the first training room. The bulkhead there didn't open. It was the fourth training room that opened its doors. Alright, and now we have the shocked look on Prism Cherry's face. Oh no, is Prism Cherry going to be the first death? That would suck. Let me get some water. Oh, my poor Prism Cherry. Why is that door opening? She thought as a magical girl showed up before she could finish thinking. In both her hands she was holding a large scythe, like a grim reaper. Her eyes were facing her with a look of malice. Before Prism Cherry could stand up, the magical girl already rushed towards her, swinging her scythe. The sight that Cherry saw before losing consciousness was the blood that shot up to smudge the ceiling. Well, damn. Prism Cherry is the first down that we know of. We don't know about the ones that disappeared. Prism Cherry is the first down that we know of, sadly. And the one with the scythe. Oh, you know what's interesting? Who are the ones that have disappeared? It can't be Umbrain, right? Umbrain disappeared. And Tempest disappeared. Wasn't there a third one? Or was it just the two? I guess it was just the two. Unless, did one of the freelancers? No? Not the freelancers? Oh, no, Kafiria disappeared. What if it's Kafiria? That could be interesting. That could be interesting if it is Kafiria. But we'll see. Or it could just be another one of the Shufflin, if I'm correct, and there are a bunch of Shufflin. But we'll see. Now we're going to Styler Mimi on page 4. She could sense the atmosphere in the air. There were people who remained calm and collected. Snow White, Utakata, and Fall. There were people who lost their cool, Lady Proud and Marika Fukuroi. There were also people who she had some confusion on because it was hard to evaluate them, like Grimheart, Shufflin, and Stunt Chica. Filaru and Utakata appeared abruptly, and then their friend was kidnapped. Frankly, it was annoying. Those two were far better than the ones who lost their cool. Speaking of, Lady Proud still hasn't changed. Utakata was cheerful, Filaru was tired, yet she felt she was aiming for her best. The people that were calm probably grouped Styler Mimi up with the people who weren't calm. They'd be wrong. Styler Mimi was calmer than calm. There was a reason she was traveling with someone so brash. At first I misread that. I thought that said trash. Someone traveling with someone so trash. If Marika Fukuroi unjustly raged and mixed in with similar people, she'd be the one that was able to find a peaceful solution. I'm the most composed out of all of them for this very reason, she reminded herself as she walked next to Marika. If Snow White can read minds, she should be able to read that too. They went through the hallways, and after passing through the bulkhead, they saw a tree. It grew on dirt, with some grass around it. It was almost as tall as the ceiling. Short and tall trees balanced out each other, with branches that curve and shrubbery mixed between. Most of the trees were cedar trees. No normal kinds of poison would work on a magical girl, so they wouldn't get things like hay fever. However, she had a phantom feeling of it since she remembered the runniness that her nose felt when she caught it as a human once. Marika Fukuroi stroked the trunk of the cedar tree. Forcefully growing these things in bad soil like this, there's way too many of them too. Marika's kindness showed a lot more when dealing with plants rather than other creatures. The density of these trees were deep. You couldn't see the walls on both sides. Humidity and temperature was higher than the aisle. Their sense of time had been lost because of the desert. This really was an underground facility. Fukuroi, this is easier for you than the desert, isn't it? Yeah, but I still have no sunlight. Ah, I see. They went through the animal trail in the forest. Not that they knew if there were actually any animals around. Thinking of how dangerous it'd be to encounter animals so suddenly, she walked next to Snow White. Although Snow White said so, Mimi didn't know if the other magical girls were willing to negotiate. When they passed through the animal trail, they saw the bulkhead. Pressing the panel opened to a wide hallway. It was exactly the same as the other hallway. What purpose was this flat facility built for? She didn't understand. As the plot thickened, just 10 steps ahead, the bulkhead slid upwards. There they saw the 3 magical girls from before. The flying magical girl was gone, replaced instead by a hammer-wielding one and a trident-wielding one. These would be the magical girls that Lady Proud's group battled. Their outward appearances, their tiaras, and their jewels all shared a common appearance. You! The Crescent Sword magical girl stepped forward. Akari! Snow White! Oh, she recognizes her! Snow White stepped forward. With a dubious look, Stellar Mimi looked at the Crescent Sword magical girl and Snow White. The other magical girls, whether friend or foe, also had a similar reaction. The Crescent Sword magical girl was also confused, looking at Snow White while furrowing her eyebrows. What? Who are you? Akari, why are you here? 'Cause what? Huh? Everyone became confused all at once. Snow White de-transformed. Everyone saw the figure of a girl. Then she immediately transformed back into Snow White. Afterward, both Snow White and the Crescent Sword magical girl looked at each other. Koyuki. So they know each other. In a place where magical girls are likely to fight, Snow White did something completely out of common sense in front of everyone, even though the atmosphere was almost on the brink of exploding to violence. Stunt Chica shrugged her shoulders as if to silently say, My. The trembling Shufflin raised her head, and Marika curled her lips in a bored-looking face. The Trident magical girl muttered in a small voice, You know her. The Crescent magical girl replied, We were childhood friends. What are you doing, Koyuki? Did you decide to go on a different career path? How's breaking and entering looking for you? I'm not doing any of that. I'm a magical girl. Okay, magical girl, give back Tempest. Talking to each other while ignoring everyone else. Was that because they knew to get to the point being childhood friends? Lady Proud stepped in between the 2 magical girls, lifting one of her eyebrows. What have you done with the hostages? Huh? That's our line. Snow White stepped back in front of Lady Proud. Something's off. They don't have Kafria nor Umbrain. Lady Proud pushed Snow White and nearly shouted, Shut up, you two... Lady Proud is so trash. Traveling with trash people. Lady Proud pushed Snow White and nearly shouted, Shut up, you two know each other, so both of you be quiet. Stellar Mimi quickly closed off the mouth of Marika, who was about to mutter out, Yeah, you all should just shut up. Such a flexible person shouldn't be in a delicate place like this. Lady Proud spread out her right arm, her cloak moving alongside it. Her eyes were tearing up, her voice was trembling, her entire face was greatly distorted. She was afraid and in pain. Where did Umbrain disappear to then? No one else could have done it but them. They don't know anything. They're also missing one of their own. Hang on a sec, didn't you guys take Tempest? Akari, we're missing people too. Akari, we're missing people too. You're missing this Tempest. I've never seen her before. You're just gonna listen to the enemy? They're not Snow White inserted her hand into her bag. Marika Fukuroi ate the seed she was hiding in her palms. Filaru knitted 3 threads between her fingers. Utakata had her bubble blower in her mouth. Stunt Chica began juggling knives. Lady Proud held a small red bottle in her palm. Stellar Mimi also grabbed the scissors she used to slice things. With the trembling Shufflin at the center, everyone formed a circle, back to back. The Hammer, Crescent Sword, and Trident girls just stared at them. They haven't even noticed. Snow White faced them and shouted out, Enemies are here. Grab your weapons. Black lumps of slime oozed out of the ground one by one, changing into humanoid shape. Demons. However, their shape was far larger than the ones in the desert. They were far larger than the average male, and while they looked like simplified humans at best, some had bat wings growing on their back. Some had 6 arms in total. Some had mouths open with fangs. Each had their own characteristics. Okay. Alright, I was just taking in all that. Claws being blocked by scissors, hands being whacked, feet being parried, magical girls switching places to slash the demons. The other magical girls were also beginning to fight. Filaru jumped on what seemed to be nothing, further jumping until she was above the forest. The winged demons chasing after her. Okay. The demon being barraged by Utakata's bubble shook its arms violently. Snow White slid underneath a demon that was about to hit the man-made magical girls and sliced it on its back. What? Why are you attacking me? The Crescent Sword magical girl finally wielded her weapon. The Hammer magical girl followed while looking perplexed. It felt like the demons were steadily increasing in number. No, they were increasing. Even now, the ground was oozing them out. Okay, so they should realize then that whoever's in the control room is making it attack even the members of the pure elements. Mimi roundhouse kicked the demon's neck. If this turns into all of them working together to survive against whoever the murderer is, as the murderer picks them off one by one, that would actually be a really interesting storyline, if this is the direction it's going in. Either way, they were increasing in number. No, they were increasing even now. The ground was still losing them out. Mimi roundhouse kicked the demon's neck, driving the scissors towards them to restrain them. When another demon tried to break into her defenses, she quickly elbowed it. Lady Proud bathed the demons in liquid and hurriedly retreated, jumping over the trembling Shufflin and kicking away a tentacle that chased her. Stunt Chica laid on her back as she cut the demon's ankles, and Snow White decapitated each staggering demon's head one after another. The hammer smashed, the trident froze, and the sword burned. Prism Cherry, why are you attacking us? Stop messing around. The trident magical girl seemed to be shouting at someone, it seems their friend may have been the one causing these demons to appear, yet they didn't seem to hear their distressed screams as the demons kept coming. The shrubs were burning, flames were spreading. The demons that were flung off made the cedar trees fall, and when the trees fell, Shufflin sprinted off into a dash. Before tentacles grabbed her leg and swayed her around, Utakata blew bubbles into the demon's leg so hard that it fell, releasing Shufflin as well. But now she was surrounded by multiple demons. Clematis. Okay? Oh, of course, like the flower. Duh. A purple flower decorated Marika's head. I thought it was Clematis, though, not Clematis. Maybe I've just read it wrong before. Purple flower decorated Marika's head. This flower boasts top-class hardness like steel. Not only was it rigid, but it was also shaped like a circular saw. Once she activates it, anyone getting close to her would be carved apart. Using it in a chaotic battlefield means she wouldn't be able to discriminate between friend or foe. You know what's really, really cool is when asked before what my power... Well, I think I used the same answer. What my quirk would be if I was in Boku no Hero Academia, and what my power would be if I was in Magical Girl Raising Project. My power is essentially basically the exact same thing that Marika Fukuroi's power is, or at least very, very similar to it. So again, that's really cool that it actually exists, and when I was saying it in Discord, everybody was probably like, well, that's already a thing. But either way, she wouldn't be able to discriminate between friend or foe. Stellar Mimi shouted, "Don't get close to Marika," while jumping away from the black goo that's being sliced apart from the demons. Alright? From the trees there were winged demons that fell down one after the other, all of them having been defeated by Filaru. Lady Proud smashed the bottles toward the demons, submerging them in liquid, burning them and melting them, and causing white smoke and an acidic smell to waft through the air. She can even hear some coughing voices somewhere. Demons that Stunt Chica and Snow White worked together to cut down were no longer circling around Shufflin. And also, every time there's been a fight, when there was a fight before, we never saw Grimheart, and we haven't seen Grimheart here. So there's a chance she could be the villain too. Either her or Kafiria, I guess, are the top guesses maybe right now. The man-made magical girls were also fighting the demons, but they seemed to be moving awkwardly as they were still confused. Marika Fukuroi was shouting happily as her petals spun around, but soon they turned brown and withered. The pace of the demons being produced hasn't slowed down. This was far too dangerous. "Withdraw. Everyone escape," Snow White shouted out. "There's no need to retreat. If we run now, what about the missing people?" Lady Proud shouted back once more. She tore down another cedar tree, now lying on the ground. "We have to retreat. We can't take more of this." "Not with that attitude, we can't." While guarding with her arms, Lady Proud kicked the demons away. The fallen demons pulling apart and becoming black stains. She grabbed the fallen cedar tree, swinging it around and sending other demons flying. A lot of these fights would look really good animated, I think. The other magical girls abruptly crouched. Snow White keeping Shufflin's head down as well. Okay? If we think we can win, then we'll win. Thoughts are everything to a magical girl. That's what magical girls are. She threw down the tree that she had embraced, crushing a demon. Then she sprinkled a small bottle, baking another demon, even low-kicking another demon's legs, which made it scream in agony. As her posture was low, she attempted to kick the demon's occipital region, but since the demon suddenly turned, she hit its face instead. The demon opening its mouth so that her leg ran right inside of it. As soon as she made impact, the demon clamped its mouth down, grabbing her from the ankle. There was no time to think. Lady Proud's legs were already caught. No matter what she did, they wouldn't let go. As the demon stood up, she was dangling upside down. The rest was all history. The demons jumped at once. Lady Proud, who was dangling upside down, must have reached her limits. Blood splashed out. When she screamed, her blood grilling the demons, yet the demons didn't let go. Stellar Mimi closed her eyes. Lady Proud was shouting something illegible. It was something angry with killing intent, not the shout of a victim, but the shout of a warrior. At the same time, she exploded. The flock of demons were blown away, the upper jaw of the large demon eating her flying off to the ceiling, the smaller ones all crushed together to a wall in one chunk. It was a large explosion. Fortunately, no magical girls were caught in it. Once again, repeating it out loud, "These people just need to listen to Snow White, damn it!" Snow White shouted out, "Withdraw." As the others began running, the voice they heard from the trees began heading back toward the entrance. Okay. Stunt Chica began moving toward the entrance while on her back. Utakata ran off after blowing some soap bubbles. Snow White blocked an attack by a demon. The way she gave off instructions painted her as a leader, but as the demons were focusing on her, Marika Fukuroi was able to jump in while shouting in a bizarre tone of voice. It was rather dangerous to be near Snow White. Perhaps Shufflin thought that way as she decided to run toward the entrance, ignoring Snow White's weight. Shouting. Only 5 steps later, she was caught by the tentacle of a demon in the ceiling, whose fangs were instantly sunk into her neck. Stunt Chica threw her knives, Utakata kicked away demons, and the final person who ran away was the Trident Magical Girl, who decapitated a demon. At that time, Shufflin's neck was already torn apart. Again, though, I think there are probably 52 Shufflin, so I feel bad for this one, because Shufflin is my favorite, she is great. But there are probably, plenty other ones where that came from. There's probably an entire deck of Shufflin, is what I'm saying. Stellar Mimi ran as well. This place has turned to hell. Hell would mean that there'd be no way to die worse. If people stayed here, they would die. Mimi was no exception if she stayed. While pressing the panel, Stunt Chica beckoned them to come closer as she stepped aside, turning immediately after everyone entered the aisle. Filaru, Utakata, the Trident Girl, and Snow White had come back. The only one who hasn't was Marika Fukuroi. She wanted to yell out at her, "Stop messing around, you big idiot." Then she noticed the scary-looking red flower blooming on her head. She noticed what Marika had planned. This idiot has so much poison in her heart that she's willing to use what she's going to use in such an enclosed space, with all of her allies and everyone else around. Snow White grabbed the nape of Stunt Chica's neck and dragged her toward the hallway, causing the bulkhead to slide down as no one was holding the panel. Stellar Mimi, Stunt Chica, Snow White, and Filaru somehow managed to slide underneath the bulkhead before it closed. The only ones in the forest room now were Marika and the demons. Okay, so if those 4 escaped one way, I guess the rest of the cast escaped the other way? Rafflesia. And I think the Rafflesia is the corpse flower, isn't it? Just before the bulkhead doors closed, they heard Marika's voice. This flower was the largest flower that Marika had in her arsenal, and Mimi's heard that it was so heavy that Marika didn't want to use it. The heavy weight, the large petals, and adding even more than its characteristic was its smell. Yeah, because the corpse flower is, I think, the largest flower in the world. It's super poisonous, and it smells like a corpse, hence the name. So I think that's what this power is about. Once you smell the flower, you'll never want to smell it again. Even out in the open, it'd be stupid to sniff it so closely. Even if you're far away, being able to smell it will make you vomit so much you won't be able to act. If it blooms in a closed space, it'll be a catastrophe. The bulkhead is closed. Stellar Mimi sniffed with her nose. Sniff, sniff. There wasn't even the faintest trace of its smell. The bulkhead had blocked it from leaking here. How much of the odor was on the other side? She didn't want to think about it. The question is whether the demons had a sense of smell or not. Don't worry. Demons have olfactory senses, Pon. She didn't even ask the question, but the mascot character had reassured her. If the demons had a sense of smell, then Marika won't be killed in there. That flower smell was capable of robbing you of your will to do anything. Okay, maybe it's not super poisonous, maybe it's just the smell, but I thought it was super poisonous too. Either way though, guess we're ending that. I loved that so far. I think that was maybe the best section of this so far. It was really exciting. It's really sad to lose Prism Cherry. So let's figure out where all the characters are. We know 4 escaped together. Was that... Okay, so out of the 16, 1 is separated off. And that is, and that's Marika Fukuroi. 1 is missing in action because Grimheart disappears whenever they get into a fight. So who knows where Grimheart is off to? She may be the bad guy. She may be the murderer. I'm guessing either her or Kafuria. So that's 2 out of the 16 down. 4 escaped together. Or, well, I'll go ahead and eliminate the 2 that died, quote unquote. Shufflin has died, but I think there are more Shufflin. And Lady Proud has died. Then we have the 3 missing ones, which would be Tempest, Kafuria, and Tempest, Kafuria, and Umbrain. So that's 7, which leaves us with 9 left, unless I miscounted. Did I count the 3 missing, the 2 that just died, Marika, and gosh, who am I forgetting right now? Oh yeah, Marika and Grimheart. So that's 7 that are split off, leaving us with 9. So 4 of those 9 we see are together here. And Marika may join these 4, and that'll make it an even 5 and 5 trying to survive together. So Marika might also be with these 4, but we saw Snow White escaped with Filaru, Mimi, and Stunt Chica, I believe. So that would leave the other group of 5 to be together. Would be... Or no, Tempest was there. Right? Tempest, Stunt Chica, Mimi, and Filaru I thought were all together. Maybe Filaru wasn't with them. Let me look really quick. Okay. Because we're looking from Mimi's point of view. Let's see. Okay. Stunt Chica. No, Filaru was there. So Stellar Mimi, Stunt Chica, Snow White, Filaru, and I think, so I guess that means 5 of them, because I'm pretty sure that, Deluge was with them as well. So there's 5 of them. There's Marika, and that means there's 4 on the other side, and the 4 on the other side then have to be Utakata, well, it's not Filaru, so it would have to be Utakata, one other of that group. Who else was with that group? I guess I'm just forgetting a character altogether. It would have to be Utakata, Deluge, Inferno, or not Deluge, Utakata, Quake, Inferno, and one other. Unless I'm getting something wrong. So yeah, I guess I'm forgetting a character somewhere in here. Oh well, I'll have to go back and try to remember at some other point. Because I am forgetting a character. Oh, did I? Yeah, I forgot Prism Cherry. I forgot to count her as one of the ones that was killed. That's why. So that would have been, there's 8 there. And they're separated into a group of 5 and a group of 3. So we didn't see Utakata. So presumably Utakata has to be with, unless Utakata escaped before, Utakata had to have gone the other way with Inferno and Quake. Unless, again, those 3 escaped and then the 5 slid under the gate after them, so they're all together. But we'll see. Like I said, I'm really interested. This is going to be a really good arc if the premise of it is that they're being killed and taken out one by one, and there's a murderer, whether it's Grimheart or whether it's Shufflin, one of the versions of her, or whether it's Kafuria, and Kafuria knows the order they're going to die in because she's going to kill them. Yeah, either way, I guess we'll see how things go for the future. I'm really interested, and I'll read more of this next week. So thank you so much for watching. Like if you did like the video, comment down there to tell me what you thought of this chapter, what you thought of my thoughts on it. Subscribe, or this part of the chapter. Subscribe for more. Magical Girl Raising Project, much more on the channel. Follow on Twitter if you want. I can try to keep you up to there and stuff for the channel or talk to you there. And if you want a link to our Discord server to talk to me or more of us there, just ask and I can give you a link. That's it. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.